Good evening and welcome to the annual Capital Region MARCOM Awards for 2020, which is now in its 5th year. This year, the event is sponsored by Spectrum Reach, and we're coming to you this evening live from the studios of Filmworks 109 in Albany, New York. The event, however, is being held virtually this year because safety is paramount. The Filmworks team behind the cameras here in the studio are all wearing masks and practicing safe distancing. Filmworks are the video partner for the MARCOM Awards 2020, and they're managing the live stream and created the videos for this evening. My name is Will Trevor, and I'm the immediate past president of the American Marketing Association New York Capital Region chapter. The Capital Region MARCOM Awards are co-hosted every year by the American Marketing Association and the Public Relations Society of America Capital Regions chapters. It's a unique combination whose joint synergy enables us to honour both the marketing and communications communities in the region. AMA Chapter President Chelsea Jankow and PRSA Chapter President Kathy McCarthy will both say a few words later in the evening. I'd like to start by saying a big thank you to our sponsor, Spectrum Reach. Spectrum Reach are our advertising experts and your one-stop shop for the best products and ideas to reach anywhere, anyone, on any screen. At Spectrum Reach, they make local businesses big and big brands look local. They're the most trusted media sales company in America, and they happen to be your neighbours right here in the Capital Region.
Howdy, y'all.
Aloha.
Hello.
Hola.
From coast to coast, from the Great Lakes to the Gulf, there's 3,000 of us in 100 offices across 36 states.
We're regulars in your restaurants, parents in PTAs, and volunteers in your communities.
We know your neighborhoods because they're our neighborhoods too.
We're advertising experts with access to every tool that any business needs to grow.
Thousands of hours of premium video programming across the world's best networks and streaming services.
Over 100 million consumer impressions available every day on every screen and every device. Billions of data points translated into insights and ideas that turn consumers into your customers.
And it's all under one roof. Action!
We know 3 things better than anyone.
How to harness the power of multi-screen advertising for any business.
How to create a simplified one-stop shop destination for marketing solutions.
And what makes our towns and cities tick.
At Spectrum Reach, we make local businesses big.
And big brands look local.
We are the most trusted media sales company in America, and we happen to be your neighbors.
Now, the purpose of the MARCOM Awards is to showcase the amazing creative talent that we have here in the Capital Region. These awards honour the marketing and communications output of the various agencies, firms, non-profits, industrial, education, and other organisations from across the region. When the organising committee deliberated earlier this year if we should even hold an event in 2020, we quickly came to the limiting factor for an entering award show like MARCOM was just as necessary during a pandemic as it is during normal times. We agreed that good marketing and communications talent should have an opportunity to tell the world what amazing things are happening here in the Capital Region. Inevitably, however, the shadow of the pandemic looms large across the categories this year and the creative pieces that have emerged in response to it. But what is awe-inspiring is the resilience and the commitment to best practice in marketing and communications that shines through in all of the entries in this year's competition. In addition to our thanks to main sponsor Spectrum Reach, we would also like to recognise the other sponsors. Firstly, Paul Castle of Castle Photography. Paul freely donates his time every year and takes the photos of the finalists and the winners. All the photos that you will see this evening were taken by him a few weeks ago. He's a creative, talented, and highly experienced photographer. Paul works on the local, national, and international level, both on location and in the studio. Thanks Thanks also to Alan Baker of Creative Marketing Concepts, who provided the awards for the special honours. Creative Marketing Concepts is an integrated marketing company offering products and services in 5 categories: print, promotional, packaging, presentation and premiums. Thank you, Alan. Now, before we announce the finalists and winners, I'd like to invite Kathy McCarthy, President of the PRSA New York Capital Region, to say a few words on behalf of the chapter. Kathy will be familiar to many of you as the Senior Director of Communications at the American Heart Association. She's also been an invaluable member of the MARCOM Organising Committee. So please welcome Kathy McCarthy.
Hello. Thank you for being with us this evening. I'm Kathy McCarthy. I'm the Senior Director of Communications for the American Heart Association. It's been my privilege and great honor and a lot of fun to have been the president of PRSA here in the Capital Region this past year. In spite of everything, we had a great year. We have a terrific board and a wonderful membership. We were able to continue with events that help all of us increase our communications skills. Our website has an awful lot of great information on it. We recently started a job board, so if you're looking for a job or if you have a job, please let us know. We'd love to share that information. Tonight, I want to congratulate all of the finalists and all of the winners. What a year it's been, and you all kept on doing what we do best. You kept finding the stories, you kept telling the stories, you just kept on doing what you are best at. You kept finding the stories, and you kept telling the stories. Our community is richer for that. When we look back at these extraordinary times, you will have played a role in writing the history of this day. Thank you for sharing your work with us. Congratulations. Please keep telling these stories. They make our community richer. Thank you again for being here. Have a great evening. Please stay safe and stay healthy.
Now, judging the entries is always conducted by neighbouring chapters of the AMA and PRSA. This year, the judging was divided between AMA Baltimore and PRSA Northeast New England. The judges commended the high standard of entries and commented upon the tough job they faced in selecting winners from so much worthy talent. We'd like to thank them for their time and dedication in playing such an important role in ensuring the selection of winners is conducted impartially and using objective criteria so that all entries are judged fairly by a panel of their peers. Before we proceed to the first category, I'd like to invite Giselle Mahoney, President of the PRSA Northeast New England chapter, to say a few words on behalf of the judges.
Hello, Capital Region. My name is Giselle Mahoney. I am the president of PRSA SENE. That's a Southeastern New England chapter. We had the privilege this year of judging your MARCOM Awards. We judged the PR campaign, media relations, video, and print publications categories. We were so impressed with the creativity and the thoughtfulness and the innovation behind your entries, as well as the execution and many of the results. Congratulations to each of you for your accomplishments. We look forward to seeing your work in action again next year. Thank you and congratulations again.
And now to the main event of this evening's proceedings, the finalists and winners of the various categories in the Capital Region MARCOM Awards 2020. The first category this evening is digital media. The category celebrates campaigns that are used to market and promote a product, service, business, or event strictly online using digital advertising, social media, video, or other forms of digital communications. The finalists in this category are Albany Law School for their Discover Albany Law School virtual tour, Capital Region BOCES for their 24 United digital campaign, Discover Albany for their hashtag 518 Tulip Tracker campaign, Capital Region BOCES for their Summer Adventure digital media campaign, and New York State Association for Counties for their All on the Line summer video campaign. Before we announce the winner, let us just hear from some of the finalists.
Our project was a virtual visit campaign. Problem was when the coronavirus outbreak started, our campus closed to visitors. so our prospective and admitted students couldn't come and visit campus. Another part of the problem was that we didn't have any video assets to approximate a virtual visit. So what we did was we contacted one of our trusted video vendors, and we got them on the schedule for, I think it was the very next week. And then we asked 3 of our students to serve as tour guides. So these are students who normally would give tours in a live setting. And we kind of gave them free rein. We didn't script it. And we asked them to kind of engage with each other and have a little banter and back and forth as they were kind of transitioning from one part of campus to the next. Beyond that, we were building a website exclusively for virtual visit content, of which that video would be the main attraction. We had planned to launch a podcast in fall 2020, and we accelerated that and we launched it actually in the spring. And we focused exclusively very early on student stories so that we could make the podcast part of the virtual visit experience as well. Also, part of the project, we put together a task force with the admissions office, and the purpose of the task force was to identify topics that accepted students would want to learn more about and people that they would want to hear from, and we organized a series of virtual events that were also part of this effort. It was really successful. Our applications were up about 3.5% and our deposits were up almost 7%.
It was in April, and obviously people had been in quarantine for like 2 months at that point. We wanted to do something around Tulip Fest. So we came up with the hashtag 518 Tulip Tracker. We had 2 main goals for this campaign. One was to really have people share their blooms that were in their backyards and kind of track the progress of what their tulips were doing and share them on social media with the hashtag. And then the second was we created a driving tour with the city of Albany with all of the flower beds that had the tulips in them to kind of have people get out of their house in a safe way and still be able to experience the tulips of Tulip Fest. We had over 7,000 views on our Google map that we had created. That was the driving tour. We had over 4,000 views on the blog post. We also created a bingo board and had people, as a fun interactive way, to have people kind of fill it out as they went along, and if they finished their bingo board, they could send it to us with the pictures and we'd kind of send them a prize. I think the hashtag was shared over 700 times on various social platforms. For us, it was probably our most successful digital campaign that we've done.
The project is called 24 United. The name came from the 24 component schools that are members of Capital Region BOCES, and it was really to show the solidarity and unity that all of the component schools showed when the pandemic first hit, and schools really had to reinvent themselves overnight. The nuts and bolts of the project were really to bring awareness to all of the communities of the 24 component schools. As part of the digital campaign, there was 4 separate video pieces. There was a kickoff piece, which was an overall video of how the pandemic hit the 24 communities and the Capital Region overall, and how schools were responding and working together to kind of navigate uncharted territories. And then the other 3 pieces were in response to some of the executive orders from Governor Cuomo. And then the final piece was a message from all the superintendents, the 24 superintendents, to the graduating class of 2020, because they had a unique scenario to go through, just as everybody did, but really the class of 2020, what they wanted to recognize. What I think made the 24 United campaign really special was that we coordinated a specific release time. We wanted all of the schools to send them out together. So it was kind of a blanket on social media in the Capital Region. That even translated onto the social platforms, and we saw a lot of positive feedback and two-way communication.
Our project is called Summer Adventure. It really was a collection of activities for students in grades kindergarten through grade 5. And it was supposed to be a resource for students and their families for what we called an at-home summer. During the pandemic, there was definitely a need for students who might not be getting programming in the traditional ways, summer camps, things like that. We didn't know if they would be available or if families would feel comfortable using them. So there was this need for resources for students. The way that we arranged the campaign was there were 8 weeks during the summer that we provided a week of activities for students. So there were 8 different themes.
And within each of those themes, there were different categories. And so we had, stay active, cooking, arts and crafts. So each of those weeks had a different set of activities for students. So we created a website for the summer where students could visit it to get the activity, but then the rest of the activity was really off screen. So they were there to get what they needed and what the instructions were, and then they kind of took that offline. Everybody really appreciated it. We've got emails from families that were showing us, the activities that they participated with. So it was really well received.
The project's name, it was the NICEAC Special Bulletin. And it was a nightly e-newsletter that was sent during sort of the early, most intense days of the COVID-19 pandemic. Simultaneously, we were also in the middle of budget season in Albany. So we had like two extremely intense events happening at the same time. And it became clear to us that we needed to find a new outlet to inform our members, keep them up to date on the latest that was happening with both with COVID and the response to that, as well as what's happening on the state budget front as well. And so we decided to create a new communications product. We have several email-based products that we do. We do a daily news roundup called Counties in the News. We also do a weekly newsletter called The County Perspective that takes snapshots of local, federal, and NICEAC specific related news from the county perspective. But this was a whole new product that was designed to address the unique circumstances of that time. Across all the issues, we had an average open rate of 40%, which is roughly double what you expect most people will say is average for that industry. And we had a click-through rate of 20%, which is also much higher than your average click-through rate. So clearly we were connecting content with our audience, the content that our audience was craving.
And the winner is Discover Albany for their hashtag 518 Tulip Tracker campaign. The annual Albany Tulip Festival was cancelled due to COVID-19. Discover Albany wanted to do something that still got people out during the quarantine, to view the tulips around the city of Albany and still engage in Tulip Fest-like activities in a safe way. Discover Albany used a mix of both social media posts, Instagram stories, Facebook and Twitter, blog posts, a Google map, an interactive bingo board graphic, and a press release to local media to help get the word out. Congratulations to the whole Discover Albany team, including Catherine Holland, Michelle Santos, and Jill Delaney. The second category this evening is integrated media. This category recognises campaigns that employ the creative and effective integration of public relations strategies and tactics with other promotional and marketing communications. Entries should demonstrate the integration of strategies plus the budget and measurement of return on investment of the communications to any stakeholder group, including employees, consumers, the media, or shareholders. The finalists in this category are Interfaith Partnership for the Homeless for the grand opening of IPH's Hoffman Family Centre, the Centre for International Internet Security for Start Secure, Stay Home campaign, and Baker Public Relations for their SUNY Schenectady COVID-19 campaign.
The Center for Internet Security, or CIS, is a community-driven nonprofit that secures the connected world. Our campaign actually started off this spring as a compliance theme for cybersecurity compliance, and 2 weeks in, we had to scrap that and move to something that was useful for people based on their needs. And that's how we came up with Start Secure, Stay Home, which is a spin on our Start Secure, Stay Secure tagline that we already have. There were two main parts to the campaign. The first was telework guidance, so secure configuration of home networks in particular. And the resources that we produced were for anyone from an IT team to a Chief Information Security Officer, or CISO, or even the end user. Once we got a little bit further in, we provided information about the fact that we have a remote endpoint assessment capability, so that those teams that used to be all in the same building, all in the same network, can now ensure that they have security of remote endpoints with everyone working from home. The campaign was very successful. In the month of June, we enrolled 71 new members, which was our highest ever in one single month. The guides were downloaded over 3,000 and 4,000 times, and then just onboarding those new members to be able to continue supporting them as they get used to the new normal or go back to the office was great too.
This project that we submitted was the grand opening for the Hoffman Family Center. It was our big finale to a capital campaign that raised nearly $10 million. This project was amazing to be included on. It was a big source of growth for IPH. They were able to expand their horizons, raise money, include more supporters and the community in their project, as well as to honor and renovate 2 historic buildings. So a big part of this project for us was how to pull all of those pieces into the messaging and the graphics that we used. We were able to talk extensively about the history of these 2 buildings. St. Casimir's School and Convent became IPH's 2 community hubs. And to honor Sheridan Ave community and IPH's work and their 35th anniversary and all of the messaging and graphics was a really cool experience. For the grand opening itself, we were able to pull 200 supporters in for the ceremony and event. There were several television interviews. The Times-Union came and did a piece and covered all of the history of IPH and these buildings. And then WAMC did an extensive interview after the fact as well. I think the most exciting part for me in this project was learning how much people cared. Everyone from volunteers to people that lived on the street to political officials and supporters, our graphic designer, Scott Moore with Metabomb. They all wanted to be a part of this. And to have so many people so excited really brought a great energy to the project and made our team even more committed to getting it just right.
We've been engaged with SUNY Schenectady for a little over 3 years, and when COVID hit in March of this year, 2020, we really had to pivot, increasing our scope of work to include marketing, crisis communication, video production, social media management, and advertising. SUNY Schenectady was celebrating its 50th anniversary, so much of the ad campaign that was running was around that 50th anniversary milestone. We also had to assist the president of the community college with internal and external messaging around COVID, because most kids, most students in the spring program now had to move to a virtual format. We are an extension of their team, so we're assisting with the development of social media content, video content. All of their media relations activities goes through our agency and working with their team. Each day was, there was something new. You would try to plan a couple steps ahead, but then something might be handed down from the Department of Health or SUNY system that we had to incorporate into our messaging and our communications. The fact that we were able to be collaborative in our approach and work alongside SUNY Schenectady speaks volumes, not just to who they are and what they bring to the table, but also with our team, because it truly was a team effort. Things just might continue to shift, so we have to be ready and we have to be strategic about it, and then just being able to pivot on a dime.
And the winners of this year's integrated media campaign are the Interfaith Partnership and Erin Kufal for the grand opening of IPH Hoffman Family Center. The grand opening pieces and media coverage were designed to tell the more in-depth story of the former St. Casimir School and Convent's transformation into the Hoffman Family Center and IPH's expanded services through community connections and healthy connections by MVP Healthcare. The goal for the grand opening was to celebrate these major accomplishments and bring a new level of awareness for IPH. Graphic design was by Scott Moore of Metabomb. Writing and public relations by Erin Kufal, and the grand opening event logistics by Eric Guzman of IPH. Congratulations to Erin, Scott, and Eric, and the IPH team. Before we continue to the next category, which is marketing campaign, I'd like to invite the current president of the American Marketing Association New York Capital Region Chapter, Chelsea Jankow, to say a few words on behalf of the AMA.
Good evening. I'm Chelsea Jankow, president of AMA New York Capital Region. First, I want to thank you all for joining us tonight and for all of the great submissions. This new virtual world has been an adjustment, and sometimes that Zoom fatigue is real. I'm genuinely missing the atmosphere of Proctor's GE Theater and connecting with all of you in person. But one thing remains constant, and that's how lucky the Capital Region is to have so many talented marketing professionals. The work you'll see tonight is a true testament to that. The American Marketing Association New York Capital Region serves sales and marketing professionals across the area, from senior level executives who are advanced in their career, to young professionals commencing on their journey, to students looking for guidance as they begin a career in marketing. We are passionate leaders dedicated to elevating the marketing profession in the area by promoting best practices and next practices that create the opportunities for personal and professional development. We strive to expand your knowledge, build your network, and create opportunities for the advancement of your career. This year has been nothing short of challenging. As a nation, we've seen a pandemic, an awakening around social and racial injustice, a fierce election, and so much more. With these challenges comes growth. As a chapter, we have taken the opportunity to fully integrate diversity, equity, and inclusion into our mission and values. We quickly shifted our in-person events to virtual to continue providing value to our members. And we put our heads together to strategize new initiatives to engage student and marketing professionals in the area. Together, the AMA New York Capital Region aims to make a positive and long-lasting impact on the community and the organization as a whole. Thank you again for spending your evening with us. I look forward to seeing all of your hard work tonight.
Thank you, Chelsea. The category marketing campaign recognises campaigns consisting of several specific elements and activities developed to achieve a set of objectives such as promoting a project, service, business, or event. These elements and activities may include research, advertising, sales promotions, direct mail, pricing, distribution strategy, or social media. The finalists in this category are Elevation 10,000 for Scott System, SEO, and paid media. Elevation 10,000 for Hudson River Community Credit Union membership campaign. The College of St. Rose for the 2 in 4 campaign. Maria College for Find Your Course, Find Your Future campaign. Capital Region BOCES for the Management Services Marketing campaign. Albany Medical Centre for the Safe for You billboard campaign. And Elevation 10,000 for the Innovative Test Solutions website, SEO, and paid media campaign.
Our project was a marketing campaign with Capital Region BOCES for the Management Services Division. Capital Region BOCES Management Services Division has 31 services across the company. So what we wanted to do was make a more customer-focused approach and a more streamlined approach to marketing those 31 services. Those 31 services, they kind of worked on their own accord. So what we wanted to do was make a more streamlined customer-focused approach. We developed a marketing toolkit that they could use when they went to a customer meeting or if they were at a conference. We made rack cards for them that were meant to just describe the service more and making it more customer-friendly so that they could understand quickly how working with us could benefit them. The campaign was very successful. We got a lot of positive feedback from our managers that it was just a big relief for them to go into a customer meeting and know They have what they needed right there with their at-a-glance document and the marketing toolkit with the rack card. And they could just have a little takeaway with them that they would leave with the customer. The feedback from our managers has been extremely positive.
The Scott System project, we worked with them to create a new website as well as their organic campaign. It was a pretty unique experience because it's not something that people know about, so it was a pretty good challenge. Scott System is an architectural concrete company, so they create massive concrete structures, things like sound barriers, and they've actually created a floating park down in New York City. Some of the nuts and bolts in our project involved creating an experience online for customers to find more information about the business, as well as being able to transcribe different terms into something that's more readable and understandable for users. I'd say it's pretty successful. One of the major keywords for them would be concrete form liners. They create a plastic form liner where they pour the concrete in and then it's cast and then put up against a building. So that keyword actually was not even on the second page. I think it was the third or fourth page ranking keyword for them. And they now actually rank #1 for that.
Maria College hired us to work with them to, expand their outreach, look at different ways of marketing, their college campus. It's a small Catholic college based in Albany, New York. So the campaign was focused on a goal of really looking at students that were trying to advance their goals in terms of academic outreach. And so what we developed was a campaign focused on 3 different video spots, pretty much under this campaign called Joey at Home, where we had a student that was, again, as everybody was hunkered down during the pandemic, looking at a way that, how could Joey in this ad advance his career? And we had a tagline, "Find your course, find your future," because we know that Maria College is a crown jewel in this area. And so the goal was really to expand that outreach. And then on top of the production side, we looked at a targeted media buy for this that was focused on digital. And we saw that, despite projections that recruitment in the fall would not be the same numbers that they were in the previous year, we actually did better than we had predicted for this campaign, where the college was able to actually get new students to come in, folks that were interested in the college, and increase the name recognition of the campus.
Our project is the 2 and 4 campaign. The 2 and 4 project was really the kind of launch of our new undergraduate programmatic offerings. So what we did as a school is we were able to package some of our course offerings on the undergraduate and mix them with some of the graduate side. So essentially to give a bachelor's and master's degree within 4 years. What does that look like to reach that 15 to 17-year-old audience? We naturally leaned towards the TikTok and those types of platforms to see what was happening. So those, the TikTok and Snapchat, those really drove our initial launch of the campaign. We led with some story ads there and pushed different stuff out. But that type of feel of that more, fresher vibe to it to kind of show what's that differentiator between the 2 and 4. So we kind of had a unique campaign where we had a person weighing a bachelor's degree in one hand and a bachelor's and master's in the other hand. So it's kind of like this with some TikTok type music happening in the background. We saw really good engagement across all those platforms. Naturally seeing what the creative looked like, what's inspiring, what these kids are engaging with today, that really just kind of influenced where we thought the creative should be and where we kind of ended up at. Campaign was really successful. We saw really strong engagement, drove several hundred inquiries to the website off of these campaigns, which kind of filled that top of the funnel for us, but we've seen a strong response to it.
So our project, Innovative Test Solutions, they are an engineering testing laboratory. So basically they'll take components and parts from other companies and test them to make sure they work as intended. What we did there is sort of, a lot of the lingo that they use is not really understandable by a normal person. So we want to make them an authority in the testing space and take sort of that hard to understand engineering lingo and turn it into something that someone that doesn't know about that industry can read and learn more about it. So first it starts by doing our own research and working with ITS so we can understand it. If we can't understand it, we can't relay it to a user. So far, through organic search, they've gotten $18,000 about of work through what we've done. This is a number that is going to increase over time as some of those bids can take up to 6 months to come to fruition. So hopefully we see that increase in the future.
The project at Albany Med includes a marketing campaign, which we called Safe For You. Many of Albany Med's patients were uncertain about coming into the hospital or to their doctor's office. The Safe For You campaign ultimately wanted to let our patients know that it was safe to come into the office, that all of the proper precautions were being taken, that there was a robust screening process in place. We had a TV ad, we had a radio ad, we had a lot of digital ads. We created a lot of videos that were hosted on our website, amc.edu. We executed a few email campaigns directly targeted at our practice patients, and we had some signage on campus and at our practice locations. We were able to pull it together pretty quickly. Being able to reassure those patients with specifics, it mattered, and it really worked for them and it worked for us. And what we saw was a return to somewhat normal patient volumes.
We worked on Hudson River Community Credit Union, which is a credit union with they have 5 branch locations. And they came to us and they wanted to increase membership and raise awareness organically and paid. So they wanted us to use kind of a variety of digital marketing strategies to increase membership. So that consisted of a paid campaign and an SEO campaign working together to achieve that goal in a variety of different strategies and tactics. The campaign has been very successful. Organically, we took care of a lot of issues with the website. We made it more usable for the user. We made it just more accessible for anybody searching for credit unions on the web. So in doing that, we increased conversions month over month and year over year. So we saw a lot of improvement in people becoming members or applying for mortgages or loans. So we certainly achieved our goals both organically and on the paid side. Their entire blog, which was just had such good information about finances, budgeting, like good spending habits that people are looking for on the web, was in a subdomain instead of a subcategory. So when we moved the blog, we saw such increased organic visibility, and we were able to attract a lot more viewers to the blog and in turn to the site.
And the winners of this year's Marketing Campaign Award are Maria College for Find Your Course, Find Your Future. Congratulations to Paul McAvoy and the Maria College team for Find Your Course, Find Your Future campaign. Now, COVID-19 presented a serious challenge for the summer marketing and enrollment plans. The campaign used a multi-pronged digital advertising plan to reach target audiences and drive traffic and engagement through the Maria College website. As a result of the branding campaign and the digital advertising the team deployed with their partners at Hearst Digital, the marketing campaign drove the best results on record, leading to the highest number of leads being delivered to the admissions office. Congratulations, Maria College. Now, the next category for this evening is Media Relations Regional For-Profit. The category recognises PR and media campaigns that were best in class, catering for the for-profit sector and with a regional focus.
Our project started as Cirque du Soleil was coming back to the Capital Region for the first time since 2006. It's basically a show for the entire family, but also they wanted to stress the importance that's for people of all ages. They were performing at the Times Union Center. When we first met with them, they really outlined a goal of selling 6,000 tickets throughout the whole tour stop. Our team actually doubled the ticket sales throughout our process. We targeted both local media, surrounding media areas of the Capital Region, but also bloggers and influencers from social media. We actually got a lot of good response in ticket sales. We had the opportunity to draft a contributed article for the Times Union Center magazine called Centertainment Magazine. We really started to ramp up that attention to buy tickets. As we got closer to January, the performers actually started coming to the area. We started by doing a radio appearance with one of the acrobats. We secured Tuba and Zeke to come into the Times Union Center and give them a tour. We then sent out a media advisory regarding an open media rehearsal. As previously stated, Cirque du Soleil mentioned wanting to sell 6,000 tickets. By the end of the time of our contracted period, Baker Public Relations sold over 13,000 tickets. So altogether, we doubled their range of tickets, and they were very happy.
2.
The sole finalists and winners in this category are Baker Public Relations for their campaign for Cirque du Soleil. For the first time since 2006, Cirque du Soleil was heading back to the Capital Region with a show featuring an exciting community of insects, love and acrobats. The company looked to create buzz through the media relations to target the Capital Region and surrounding area, the families and people of all ages. The company outlined a lofty goal of 6,000 tickets sold, a goal that Baker Public Relations would help in more than doubling. Congratulations to Leah Rosterha and the Baker Public Relations team. Now the next category is Media Relations statewide and beyond. The category recognises PR and media campaigns that excel in reaching a wider audience across the state and beyond.
Media relations effort. There were a number of organizations involved. Our client, the Northeast Dairy Producers Association, was our number one priority. We partnered with Senator Jessica Ramos's office downstate, as well as a number of other agriculture coalitions and organizations across New York to band together and find the best way to get access products downstate to underserved areas, as well as to their local food pantries. As with many other industries, due to the pandemic, the family dairy farms across New York State were impacted by the New York pause order. The different groups found volunteer truck drivers who had refrigerated trucks and other means to get this food and milk out. Our number one goal with this media relations campaign was to let New Yorkers know that family dairy farms were still farming. Cows can't be turned off, and the excess milk and other dairy products needed to get to those in need. And so through the targeted news releases, we were able to pitch to local media and secure the Associated Press story to ensure that everyone understood that these products were available at their local food pantries and that dairy farms were still farming. That's something that I had thought of, letting the community at large know that this food is available. If you are having a hard time, or if you are laid off, if your kids are at home, you can go to these locations and get the food and milk and dairy products that you need. We had more than a dozen local stories in those regions, and then the Associated Press story that ended up being placed in more than 300 media outlets across New York State and the nation.
The sole finalists and winners in this category are Corning Place Communications and their campaign for the Northeast Dairy Producers Association. Congratulations to Charisse Wells and the Corning Place Communications team. The COVID-19 public health crisis immediately impacted New York's family dairy farms due to massive market disruption. More than a dozen media placements were secured in major media markets throughout New York State, including the New York Daily News, the Auburn Citizen papers, as well as several broadcast TV stations from Buffalo to New York City. In total, these placements reached an audience of more than 1.6 million, according to audience estimates provided by the media monitoring services. This media relations strategy also resulted in an increased recognition of Northeast Dairy Producers Association as a voice for New York dairy farms. Well done to the Corning Place team. In a moment, we will announce one of the first special honours for the evening. But before that, our next category is always hotly contested as we reach print publications. This category awards print publications used for marketing and/or communications, which could include newsletters, annual reports, brochures. The finalists in this category are the Martin Group for the Prescription for Progress brochure, Albany Med for the Albany Med 2019 annual report, Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute for the Rensselaer Coast to Coast East Scholarship Dinner and Performance Program, Albany Med for Light Up the Night multi-piece event invitation, the College of St. Rose for the St. Rose Magazine Winter 29 edition, Discover Albany for the 2020 Discover Albany Visitor's Guide, and Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute for the 2019 Rensselaer Donor Calendar.
Light Up the Night is an annual signature event of Albany Meds that is held each year in July, and the proceeds benefit the Department of Emergency Medicine. This year, because of the COVID pandemic, we were required to pivot the event, and instead of doing a live in-person event, we hosted a virtual event. The invitation was the first piece and really only piece that we sent out to the community in order to capture attention for the event. I believe it did catch a lot of attention. It was designed very uniquely. It was sort of altered differently, kind of like the sign of the times. The layout was very unique. It was very bright and colorful, and I believe it attracted a lot of attention. What sort of surprised us the most about this event this year was we didn't know what to expect from the community support. And the fact that we had so many people that still stepped up and supported the event in the Department of Emergency Medicine was incredible. Between sponsorships and ticket sales, the event turned out to be quite successful.
The 2020 Visitor's Guide, we started it in November of last year. It's really geared towards people coming to visit Albany and to residents. It's got a calendar of events, it's got business listings. It's really just to show visitors and residents everything that Albany has to offer. And this year we really tried to beef up the content in it. Really, we wanted to bring awareness to all of the art. We are located in Quackenbush Square, and a lot of the Capitol Walls murals are actually in that parking lot that we park in every day. We really got to see kind of the evolution of those murals, and it really got us inspired. We highlighted art in a bunch of different ways, so through food and through the murals and meeting spaces and all different kinds of ways you can find art in Albany County. Relentless Awareness did our PR for the Visitor's Guide, and we held a press conference. With COVID hitting, printed materials kind of went by the wayside. We did have a lot of businesses that put them out, and a lot of people were picking them up, so it was great to kind of see them around town. We worked with Albany Center Gallery to identify an artist to illustrate the cover, and it was just really fun to be able to have somebody that is local and an artist, and she's actually has one of the Capitol Walls murals that she's done, and it was a really cool, funky illustration of Albany skyline and a really cool creative map, and people loved that.
Each year, we produce a donor calendar. We are in touch with our community throughout the year, asking them to support Rensselaer, and this calendar is our way of giving back and saying thank you. And this recent calendar was one that we did last year, and really worked to provide imagery and content that really endears our alumni to their alma mater. So we try to provide some of the old and some of the new. Older campus shots, the traditional campus shots, and also provide insight as to what's going on and new on the campus. Every year we get phone calls, "Where's my calendar?" It's always a hit every year. And the team has a great time in putting it together and does a great job of looking at every photo, mentioning every event, and finding content that they really would enjoy reading and seeing. One of the most exciting things about the calendar is hearing the excited reactions when it comes out. We have students who get featured in it, and they'll show it to their parents, and their parents will call us and ask for extra copies, and that's always so exciting for us to hear. When we get the final printed piece back, it's really exciting. The team is like, it's opening presents during the holidays. It's looking through it and really inspired by the work that we were all able to do together and share with our donors.
The name of the project is the annual report for 2019 for Albany Med. We began doing concepts in fall of 2019 to come up with the theme. We produce an annual report every year for the board of directors and just to highlight what we've accomplished for every year. 2019 was a special year because it was the last year our CEO was in charge after 25 years, so we wanted to celebrate that. The CEO, Jim Barba, was leaving 2020, and we would like to honor his commitment for the last 25 years of service for Albany Med and the accomplishments that he made. When the report came out, it was received very well. It was a little later than usual because of COVID. We produced everything in-house, the writing, the editing, and the concepting and design. We incorporated some COVID information. We felt like it needed to be covered. Working on the project was really interesting because we, for the most part, worked on it when everybody was working from home. We had to really work together as a team and really rely on our experience and creativity from a distance without getting together to work on it.
The project was the winter edition for the St. Rose magazine. It's an alumni magazine, and the focus really on the entirety of the magazine was athletics. The purpose of the alumni magazine is to show what's currently happening at the college, but also to show what alums are up to in their careers. It's also to have alums show support and give back to the students who are currently at the college. Kathy Hacker was the athletic director for decades, and she was retiring, so we did a feature on the new athletic director coming in. The whole piece was very heavy in photography. We worked with Beth Michelanis, who is a local photographer. On the cover, we took the student athletes in a studio environment, took photographs, and then worked the typography around the student athletes to make it feel like there was a lot of motion happening on the cover. The inside of the piece really was about a new wave for athletics and bringing that to the forefront. We have a lot of alumni who were athletes in here too that we were focusing on showing where they are now, what they've done with their careers, if athletics is still a part of what they're doing. As of right now, we just totally reinvented the magazine, did a facelift on it. So it's cool to be able to work with my team and, as an alum myself, reinvent the way this magazine looked and give it a new total vibe and everything. The really rewarding thing in this magazine was the legacy of Kathy Hacker. Just speak with her and just, hear about all the things throughout the course of her time. It was a pretty rewarding experience.
And this was a special year for us because we had, the scholarship gala, but we also tied it in with Dr. Jackson's celebration of her 20th anniversary on campus. And we also had a very special signature performance by Josh Groban. We were very excited to put the program together, which kind of captured the spirit of the event. The number one thing we have to do with it is thank our sponsors and thank our supporters. But what we also wanted to do with it this year was really showcase our students and really celebrate our partnerships as well. So we had about 250 attendees. We use it for marketing material as well, and we're able to share all the great stories that are in it for different events and uses throughout the year as well. Two really exciting parts of the project. First of all, connecting our students with the donors. So really showcasing all the great work that our student scholars have done. The other great piece was the non-traditional Rensselaer side that you may think. So putting together the content with Josh Groban and also featuring our ArtX and MPAC, working with the student orchestra, was really, really inspiring to see the different sides of Rensselaer and our students. We put the donor first. So we want to really think of how can we convey to them the impact that they're making. We really put a lot of care into pulling together the content. When we see the finished product and get it back from the printer, it's very exciting to look through, and even to this day we'll look through it and get excited and be proud of the hard work that we did to put it together.
The winners of the Print Publications Award for the Capital Region MARCOM Awards 2020 is Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute for Rensselaer Coast to Coast East Scholarship Dinner and Performance Program. Congratulations to the RPI team. Darlene Alvarado, Deirdre Hargrave and Bethany Baudouin. The annual Rensselaer Coast to Coast East Scholarship Dinner honours outstanding student scholarships and partnerships, propelling Rensselaer through its third century in providing students with a world-class education. Among other goals, the student ambassador piece of the programme was hugely successful as it allowed donors to connect with students that were present at the event. It put a face to a name, enhancing the connection between student and donor. And now, on to one of the first of the special honours for this evening. There are two honours in this category, Marketer Communicator of the Year Award and the Marketing Communications Practitioner of the Year Award. Now, the MARCOM Marketing Communications Practitioner of the Year nominees must have held a position as a marketing or communications professional for at least 5 years and have achieved exceptional success, displayed the highest ethics, and shown dedication to serving the community and our profession. Additionally, nominees to both categories should have a demonstrable record in excellence in the promotion and marketing and/or communications of his or her company, organisation, or institution. They should have fostered innovation by introducing new ideas, uses of media and perceptions, and generated results by their efforts. They must be a resident or employee of a company, organisation or institution located in the Capital Region and demonstrate how they've encouraged an environment in which diversity, equity and inclusion can flourish. I'm incredibly pleased to announce that the winner of the MARCOM Marketing Communications Practitioner of the Year 2020 is Matt Markham, Vice President of Communications at Albany Med. In making the nomination, his colleague Pamela Sawchuk-Brown commented, "His leadership through the coronavirus pandemic is the most recent example of his ability to innovate and deliver despite the odds. Matt worked day and night to manage the medical centre's response to the pandemic. For 100 days, he was essential to Incident Command, where all operational decisions were made and was on call 24/7. Please join me in congratulating Matt Markham of Albany Med."
Thank you, and good evening, everyone. It's a delight for me to be here virtually in the company of some exceptionally talented communicators, many of whom I am lucky to know, from whom I have been privileged to learn. I'm also honored and humbled to receive this award from the MARCOM Committee of the PRSA Capital Region Chapter. Your efforts to recognize and develop communications professionals enrich the bonds we share and the stories we tell. I think the need for good, honest, ethical, and effective storytelling has arguably never been as important as it has been during what I think we can all agree has been an extraordinary year. English writer John Donne, to paraphrase him, said this: "No one is an island." That is certainly true for any communicator, and it is true for our team here at Albany Medical Center. And the thought is perhaps most poignant during this era of physical distancing and great unrest in our world. No one is an island when we are faced with great challenges and the great task of putting those challenges into perspective. We can only do that, though, as a community when we are focusing and listening by choosing the right words and the right tone. No one is an island in the delivery of a message that has meaning and importance. Our story is written by many different people, and it is shaped by their backgrounds and experiences. At Albany Med, our team ensures that every video, publication, and post reflects that diversity. With more than 10,000 employees coming from as many as 60 different countries, caring for a community of nearly 3 million people, in many ways, our story is the community's story, and our backgrounds and cultures bring depth to it. As the coronavirus pandemic continues, we remain at the center of a breaking news story, the likes of which we have never seen before, and all of our voices are a part of it. Albany Med is committed to telling that story, continuing to tell that story in a way that informs, unites, and inspires. We are not islands unto ourselves. We are all writing what the late Washington Post owner Philip L. Graham called news, the first rough draft of history. Thank you.
Congratulations once again to Matt Marcom, the MARCOM Marketing Communications Practitioner of the Year 2020. With just 4 remaining categories, we move on to the Public Relations Campaign category. This includes campaigns consisting of a series of activities planned in advance and executed in a strategic manner in order to achieve a specific goal or goals, such as drawing attention or promoting a non-profit or for-profit organization's products or services. The finalists in this category are Capital Region BOCES for the School Communications Portfolio, Reopening Schools Resources. Albany Med for the Albany Med COVID-19 response. The Martin Group for the Fuse Hub New York Manufacturing Extension Partnership Pandemic Response. And Baker Public Relations for Palette Cafe's first birthday celebration and expansion to Schenectady.
We were celebrating the 1-year anniversary of Palette Cafe opening in Saratoga and all that they've done for the community in a year, and we were also announcing their expansion to Schenectady. For the celebration, that was happening in June, so we obviously had to get a little creative with the pandemic happening, so we turned to video for that. We created 2 different videos for Palette. Both videos were included on social media. We drafted and distributed a press release for Palette's 1-year anniversary, and then we also advised on a socially distant, COVID-friendly event in person, which included small curbside cupcakes and a socially distant champagne toast. On the expansion front, we drafted a couple different press releases, one announcing the expansion and then another announcing the partners on the project, who were Steve and Denise Gonick. Owner Catherine Hover just wanted to remain positive throughout the whole thing. She wanted to inspire people to keep forging ahead no matter what was happening. So we drafted a contributed article for her on staying positive that was in BuzzFeed, and then we also made sure she was included in a panel discussion with Schenectady business leaders about how Schenectady would move forward through the pandemic. They both were really successful. Palette recently opened in Schenectady in September with over 57 founding members. The 1-year anniversary was also a well-attended event. The celebration was on the front page of the Saratogian. We had elected officials stop by the event, and it was a really fun event that I think the community needed after kind of coming out of the pandemic a little bit.
Now, we apologize to a couple of the entries that we missed off that video. And the winners are Albany Med for the Albany Med COVID-19 response. Congratulations to Matt Marcom and his team, Laurie Kirsch, Eli Fanning, Jason White, and Laurie Hansen. As the coronavirus spread, the Communications Department was tasked with developing and implementing a campaign to transparently inform internal and external audiences of the medical centre's preparedness plans to treat patients, keep staff safe, and educate the community about the rapidly spreading virus and evolving medical guidance. Social media posts were viewed more than 1 million times. Local newspapers quoted press releases regularly in stories. Local TV stations pulled clips from internally produced videos for their own websites and newscasts. Between March and May, Albany Med and its experts appeared in 304 news stories on air and online. Moving along to the Public Government Affairs category. This category recognizes campaigns specifically designed to influence public policy and/or affect legislation, regulations, political activities, or candidates. The sole finalists and winners of this category for 2020 are the New York State Association of Counties for their video production summer strategies, All on the Line.
New York County's lead is the project. In this pandemic, the counties were on the front line. We run local health departments. We operate the emergency operations centers. We stood up testing sites. We run mental health offices. We were in full gear from the moment this pandemic was declared right through until now. The first video was all on the line because our county members put everything that they had on the line, from the county executive to the nurses in the public health offices, to our mental health coordinators, to our highway superintendents who were out there every day during the pandemic. It launched, and it was really during the height of the shutdown. It was really when we were out in front with this campaign. The campaign was used to persuade federal lawmakers to pass a stimulus bill that would provide funding for the states and county governments. We had people all over the country watching it. In fact, the National Association of Counties adopted a very similar video for themselves nationally after we did it for New York.
Congratulations to the New York State Association of Counties team. Steve Aquario, Mark Levine, Tom Oldfather and Kate Pierce. The New York Counties lead campaign successfully positioned New York's counties as key players in the governmental response to COVID-19. The weekly Zoom press conferences drew dozens of reporters and generated favorable press coverage each week. New York County's lead content has received strong engagement online, with the All on the Line PSA video receiving over 2,500 organic views and counting. The New York County's lead video, produced in-house, generated over 1,000 organic views. Congratulations to the New York State Association of Counties team. Our penultimate category of the night is the video category, which saw the submission of a record number of entries this year, and also included a public vote, which, while not being the deciding factor, showed the amazing talent in this category to a wider audience. The finalists in this category were Excelsior College for Our Stories Have Value brand building spot, Albany Med for Stronger Together, the Albany Med workforce, Albany Med for Your Safety is Our Top Priority, Albany Med for This is Albany Medical College, Leanne Risciuti for the American Heart Association Leaders with Heart Challenge Video, and Albany Med for the Safe for You 30-second TV ad.
So for the Stronger Together video, it was basically a cross-section of employees and senior leaderships. It was really, with COVID and the crisis, it was very emotionally draining for everybody. It was important to reaffirm the positive work, the good work that our employees were doing, and really kind of help boost morale, just show our gratitude and appreciation. So it was a series of interviews with senior leadership and employees, and just kind of thanking them for all their hard work for the weeks and months during the coronavirus pandemic. I definitely feel it was very well viewed on YouTube, very well appreciated, and I think it helped to kind of keep people on track, keep staff on track, and just kind of keep their eyes on the prize. I think the video was very well received among the employees and staff, just as that, gesture of gratitude. Just the little things like a thank you can go a long way.
I made a video for the American Heart Association. They were looking for a new and interesting way to advocate for a new program for fundraising. And it was called the Leaders with Heart Challenge. And they were challenging more of the business folks in the Capital Region to raise a certain amount of money, but make it a contest and try and get other folks to raise even more money. So we came up with this idea about using the apple a day kind of analogy and tossing it from speaker to speaker to further show how everything is connected, but also show the importance of health and heart health and raising money for those who need it. We found that the project was successful in a number of different ways. It was a little different this year because of the pandemic, but it was effective in getting some of our other business leaders to sign on to the effort. And as a, video maker, it was successful in that the American Heart Association saw it as an example and shared it with other chapters across New York State and the U.S. to help encourage their local chapters to come up with better ideas on how to raise money.
So the video project that was connected with Albany Med's Safe for You campaign amounted to a 30-second and a 50-second commercial that let people know that it was safe for them to come into the hospital or to come into their doctor's office. As part of the process to create Albany Med's Safe for You TV ad, we kind of brainstormed different ways that lights could be coming back on. At Albany Med's main campus, we have an iconic entry where there are white pillars. Those pillars were lit up in the symbolic rainbow over the course of much of the lockdown. So we found a way to film those pillars using a drone coming on. We also went over to one of our outpatient surgery centers, and we had a team of people who would have been involved in a surgery, and they were turning on the overhead surgery light. The video was really successful. People really liked to see the hospital in action. Just seeing it open and vibrant, I think, worked. What it also did was it really generated a lot of pride amongst Albany Med's employees. I think it really made staff proud, and when you have thousands of staff members who are proud and confident in what they're doing, that translates through word of mouth.
So with safety as our top priority, it was actually a 3-part series of videos. During COVID, the focus was on treating the patients with COVID, and so really all other elective procedures, our medical offices were pretty much shut down. So as a result, inpatient volumes were down, outpatient volumes were down, revenue was down significantly. Once we got the go-ahead to continue with elective procedures, we did research, and it was determined that the main concern was patient safety. They were afraid to come back to Albany Med. So we had to swiftly come up with a campaign to really assure the public that we were taking all the extensive precautions, and we just had to reassure them that Albany Med was safe. The 3 videos that we shot were written by our Vice President of Communications, and then myself and our Director of Digital Media went around the house. We went to a few off-site locations and interviewed epidemiologists. We interviewed our Director of Surgical Services. We shot B-roll with housekeeping staff, wiping down all services and all that. But it really helped drive patients back to Albany Med, and we're back to nearly pre-COVID levels at this point in terms of inpatient volumes, outpatient volumes at our medical centers. I think it was a very successful campaign.
The name of our project was Our Stories Have Value. So we were just really trying to connect with potential students that just needed some encouragement to take that final step. And what we wanted to do was show them in a really powerful light, sort of a heroic light, that all of the things that they'd done and learned in their lives to date was building them up and making them stronger and more capable of achieving this goal. The first thing we did with this project was we really wanted to get a sense of what students at Excelsior were like and what they'd been through in their lives and who they were, so we knew who we were trying to reach. And what came up was that these were just really, really impressive people. And we really felt like one of the major Excelsior assets was this really diverse, interesting student body that brought something to the community that they could share. And also that Excelsior really saw the worth in these students' prior lives up to this point. It's really a very affirming feedback so far, in that what we really wanted to do with the project was sort of put up a mirror to our potential incoming students. We wanted them to be able to see themselves as these heroes, because that's how we view these people. And the early response is that that's how people are seeing it. They see themselves in the commercial. They see themselves as these strong and capable figures.
The last video in the series, This is Albany Medical College. And amid COVID, with travel restrictions in place, the fall is the height of recruitment for Albany Medical College, but with travel restrictions, there couldn't be any in-person interviews, there couldn't be tours, anything like that. So the medical college turned to the Albany Med Communications Department and asked us to help them out. So we had to come up with kind of a broad-based, overarching video that would communicate to prospective learners the value of this world-class academic medical institution. I believe it was, very successful, and we had several thousand views on Facebook, several thousand views online on our YouTube channel, just really kind of communicating the medical college and how it was a world-class teaching institution for the next generation of medical professionals.
And the winners of the video category for the Capital Region MARCOM Awards 2020 are Albany Med for the Safe For You 30-second TV ad. Congratulations to Matt Markham and the Albany Med team, Laurie Kirsch, Eli Fanning, Jason White and Laurie Hansen. The goal was to assure patients that the hospital and medical offices were safe and encourage them not to delay their health care. It was also focused on increasing patient volume and revenue. As of mid-September, the results of Safe For You show that the TV ad was successful in reaching audiences in the 25 counties in northeastern New York and western New England served by Albany Med. It reached hundreds of thousands of consumers and positively impacted patient volume and revenue. Congratulations to the Albany Med team, winners of the video category for 2020. Now, our final category this evening is for websites. Websites used for marketing or public relations activities to promote a product, service, business, or event. The finalists in this category are the Martin Group for the Passport for Good website homepage redesign, the College of St. Rose for the eSports microsite, and Jarnell Group for the Jarnell Group new website.
So we had developed the esports athletics program website for the college's St. Rose new esports program. So we wanted to create a space for prospective students to see what the program was like, our esports arena, and what kind of students we want to see, which are just fun, outgoing. We want to bring in all types of people, and we want to kind of to really show off the current students. I think number one, what was most important was that the students themselves loved it. We took video, photos, and did profiles for each individual student, and I think it really made them feel cool and that we give them the same treatment that we would for any other type of student athlete, and just really gave them a space to shine. It was really cool to have the chance to get really creative and take it kind of to the next level, played around with a lot of cool colors, some fun gamer typefaces and kind of graphical effects, and highlighting our students, and as well as just making sure that it was just seemed very inviting and open and welcoming for all different types of students to feel like they could become part of the program, they could become an athlete at our college.
So this project was the Janelle Group website, and we do software for all sorts of different clients. But for this one, it was just our in-house website that our clients see, and potential employees and other customers and everyone at our company too. Well, the goal is really to communicate as authentically as possible what Janelle Group is about. And we have a really awesome culture. So what we're trying to do through the whole project is just show that as transparently as possible. Well, at the beginning, it's a lot of ideas. We wanted everybody at the company to contribute what they thought would go into the ideal website. So Jory Hutchins and Sean Alderdice created some different ideas, and then we pass that around the company and see what people like. And then we start development, so we start actually building those designs. The feedback has been incredibly positive. Our old website, it wasn't as cool. It was effective, it was clean, it was good, but we wanted something that really stood out. And it seems like everybody at the company and everyone that's given us feedback otherwise has had really positive things to say.
So the website for Scott System was definitely a unique project for us. Their previous website was something where it was very, very outdated and it didn't really display the work that they do. So with this project, we really wanted to take their architectural beauty and turn that into a website and incorporate those elements into their brand online, as well as being able to relay that information to potential customers. The website launched in April of 2020. It was incredibly successful, seeing traffic increases within the first couple months, as well as their organic rankings have steadily improved and still are improving to this day. I think the design of the website is definitely very, very unique compared to other sites. Obviously, it's completely responsive, as most sites are these days, but it really incorporates the beauty of their architectural concrete products into the design of the website and really showcases what they can do.
And the winners of the websites category for the Capital Region MARCOM Awards 2020 are the Martin Group for the Passport for Good website homepage redesign. Congratulations to John Makowiak, the Martin Group team. In 2019, PFG engaged the Martin Group to advise on where best to focus their marketing spend to optimize awareness, engagement, and conversion among their various audiences. The Martin Group provided copywriting, wireframing, and development of a PFG-branded website homepage, including updated navigation and footers. Within the first 3 months following the website redesign, there was a 187% increase in visitors to the website, a 60% decrease in bounce rate on the homepage, and a 6% conversion rate of visitors to online demo. So congratulations once again to John Makowiak and the Martin Group team. And that concludes the announcements of the finalists and winners of the various categories for the Capital Region MARCOM Awards 2020. Our heartfelt congratulations not just to the finalists and winners announced here tonight, but also to the many entrants who took the time to enter this year. You truly are the best of the best, and with a near record 100% increase in the number of entrants this year, we are pleased to see that the pandemic has not dented the enthusiasm or the talent from among the marketing and communications professionals across the Capital Region. We salute all of you and thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Before we bring these awards to a close and announce the final special awards recipient, I would like to pay tribute to a few people who have helped make this evening possible. First, a big thank you to the Filmworks 109 team for a flawless production and some creative videography. Secondly, I'd like to thank my fellow members of the 2020 MARCOM Organising Committee. To Paul Hook, whose wisdom, hard work and dedication to MARCOM was invaluable in making tonight happen. To Josh Popor, who worked tirelessly to ensure that the judges delivered their verdicts on time. To Paige Franzek, who helped with the plaques and the special awards. And to Kathy McCarthy, Michael Bone and Marguerite Pearson. Many thanks also go to Alicia Jacobs and Jen Barbick for helping to promote the event. I would also like to thank Josh Shea for his work on the website, Andy Murphy for help with the video captioning, and Jessica Merchin for assisting with the accounts. It takes a village to put on an event like this, so thank you for being my fellow villagers in this endeavour. Finally, we come to the last of the special honours for 2020, the Marketer Communicator of the Year Award. Nominees for this award must hold a senior level position within their organisation and have achieved exceptional success, displayed the highest ethics, and shown dedication to serving the community and the profession. This person is a professional community leader or public figure who does not hold a formal marketing or communications position, but emulates the skills and traits of the best the MARCOM profession has to offer. Current marketing or communications professionals were excluded from consideration for this award. The 2020 Marketer Communication of the Year Award goes to Peter Gannon, President and Chief Executive Officer of the United Way in the Greater Capital Region. The judges felt that Peter and the United Way in the Greater Capital Region have exhibited extraordinary leadership and outstanding support to the community this year. So on behalf of the MARCOM Organising Committee, I'm pleased to introduce Peter Gannon as the 2020 Marketer Communicator of the Year.
Good evening, everybody. Let me start by saying thank you for a tremendous recognition. There's really no better honor than to be recognized by a group of your peers for just some of your professional accomplishments. So I sincerely appreciate the recognition tonight. And while I'm at it, let me thank my entire team here at United Way of the Greater Capital Region, who does such an amazing job every day of telling the stories of families throughout the region and how badly they struggle and how hard we work to help them overcome and succeed. Of course, none of that's possible without telling the story of the folks who invest in this organization to make sure we're well resourced to tackle these challenges that we see every day. Obviously, it's hard to talk anything in 2020 without reference to the COVID-19 pandemic and the way we've been able to adapt on the fly and communicate in this new normal has been nothing short of remarkable, from re-engaging with our donors virtually to conducting meetings, to invest the $1.1 million we raised with our partners at Community Foundation for the region's emergency COVID-19 response fund. It's all communications has been at the center of it, and my team's flexibility, their agility, their willingness to adapt on the fly has been paramount to that success and our ability to function as the pandemic has gone on. I want to also take a quick second and congratulate Matt and the team at Albany Med for their recognition tonight and for everything they've done for this community, not just during the pandemic, but all year long. Albany Med is a true community resource and an outstanding community partner, and Matt, you're a huge part of that team. So an honor to be recognized alongside you this evening. So from all of us at United Way to all of you watching tonight, thanks for recognition of our work and the work that our team does every single day. It's a pretty amazing recognition for us here, and we are so grateful for it. And on a personal note, let me thank you for the probably the biggest deal of all this, the validation I'm getting at home. Being named the Communicator of the Year has been a tremendous trump card for me to utilize in almost any conversation or argument with my family. So perhaps the biggest thing to come out of this for me. But in seriousness, we appreciate the recognition, we appreciate the support, and thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the evening.
Congratulations to Peter Gannon, the 2020 Marketer Communicator of the Year. It just remains for me to say thank you to all of you who attended the event this evening. For the MARCOM Awards Organising Committee and all the people who have worked upon the awards this year, thank you. Stay safe and have a peaceful and relaxing Thanksgiving, and we send our best wishes for our happy holidays. With brighter times ahead, we hope to see you next year for the Capital Region MARCOM Awards 2021. And good night.